it's JJ Virgin, and welcome to the JJ Virgin Lifestyle Show, where I give you the latest cutting-edge intel to help you look, feel, and think better. Now, today's show is all about how to look younger, 10 years younger, without surgery. I have got the best person to talk to you about this. It's America's holistic plastic surgeon. I am so lucky to know this doc. He is a rock star. And what he's doing is like so anti everything else that I've seen out there, because he's like sees surgery as the last resort and puts all of these other things in place so that you just de-age. So let me tell you a little bit about him. It's my buddy, Dr. Anthony Youn. You've probably seen him because the guy's on TV all the time. Regular on Rachel Ray, Dr. Oz and the Doctors. He had a PBS show. He's got the book, The Age Fix, which you definitely want to have. And tune into his podcast, The Holistic Plastic Surgery Show. And he's also giving away a super cool gift today. He'll tell you all about it, but just to give you a little heads up, it's at jjvirgin.com/Dr. Youn, Youn. All righty. I'm super excited to share Dr. Tony Youn with you. All right, let's do it. Dr. Tony Youn, welcome to the show. I'm so glad you're here with me today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you.
Oh, everybody wants to know about this stuff, especially from a plastic surgeon, how to look younger without cutting, right?
Exactly. I mean, there's so many things we can do surgically, but really the question is, what can you do without going under the knife? And what can you do without even seeing a plastic surgeon?
There's this is crazy. Like, this is not good job security for you. But I love the fact that you are a holistic plastic surgery and you see surgery as the last resort. And you've told me about so many things that you can do. And I get asked about this all the time. So I'm super excited to have you on. And like, how did this all come to be, Tony, that you kind of moved into this idea of holistic plastic surgery, which you're really like the pioneer of?
Thank you. Yeah, so I started off doing all the things I'm supposed to. I did 4 years of medical school. I did 3 years of general surgery residency, 2 years of plastic surgery residency. I spent a year out in Beverly Hills with a top name plastic surgeon there and like an internship, basically. And I learned nothing about prevention of aging. It was all about the operations and things. And as I have been doing all these TV shows over the last 10 years, Rachel Ray and Dr. Oz and the Doctors and all that, and writing the last couple books, it really has taught me that there is so much more to treating aging than we were ever taught. And these are things that I've learned even from people who are your colleagues, about all the different foods that you can eat that can really make a profound impact on the aging of your skin. And so it really got me on this direction. I have seen, as a plastic surgeon, I've been in private practice now 13 years. I've seen everything. I have seen some of the worst complications that you can imagine, the scariest situations. And I'll tell you, JJ, if I can avoid that happening to somebody, yet still get them looking the way they want to, then I have done that person a service.
All right. And I'm assuming some of this worst thing you've seen are people who've had plastic surgery gone wrong and then come to you to try to get it fixed, right?
Yeah. And that's most of it. But honestly, I operate on a lot of people. And no matter how good of a surgeon you are, how great of an operation you do, how much training you've had, people get complications. And some of those can be scary. Now, knock on wood, I don't have people die after a tummy tuck or anything like that, but that's always the biggest fear. And when people ask me, Dr. Youn, what's the worst thing that can happen to me if I have surgery? We start with death. I mean, really, that's death. And so when you think about it, if I can get you looking the way you want to using non-surgical procedures, non-invasive procedures, by eat the right foods, then that's definitely the way to go. And yeah, you know what? There are those things that just are only treated surgically. By all means, let's take care of that too. But man, if we can do it without it, then let's do it.
Cool. So I'm assuming most of us would like to avoid death for as long as possible and look younger for as long as possible. So where would we start then?
Okay, so I always start with food, and this is something obviously you're an expert at, but a couple of things that people don't realize is in a lot of ways, those same foods that you recommend for your clients, for your followers, that will help them to lose weight, to improve their health, to heal their gut, those are also the same types of foods that will actually help you to age more slowly, and we talk about the gut endothelium and you've talked about that and a lot of our colleagues have, but the endothelium, we also have, that's a similar type of tissue that we have on our skin. And so those same types of things like bone broth, like foods that are rich in antioxidants, those are the same types of foods that can also slow down that aging process, because those same things that affect our general health also affect the health of our skin.
So let's talk we just have to hit this one. The most aging foods out there that we just should not eat, not just because of the weight issues, but because they're going to make you look old overnight.
So this first one is very close to your heart, and it's sugar. Okay,
good. I was hoping you'd say that.
Exactly. And so, if any of your followers I know are very dedicated to you because you give such great information, and you've talked all about sugar. So they know sugar is horrible for your health. It's horrible for gaining weight. But that same inflammation that can cause disease in our body can also cause our skin to age more quickly. And it's that whole process of glycation. It's how those sugar molecules will bind to the collagen, cause a collagen in our skin to form these kind of unusual and crooked patterns and things, and it causes you to actually age more quickly. So it's a process of glycation that can do it. It's also chronic inflammation from sugar spikes and causing insulin spikes. So interestingly enough, those same things that you have been encouraging your followers to, avoid that sugar, and you're going to lose that weight, you're going to be healthier, you're also going to look in the mirror, and your skin is going to look so much better.
There you go. I love these side effects that come from this, All right, now let's look at, I know you wrote the book, The Age Fix, which everybody should have. And in there, you talk about a very specific skincare regimen to stay young.
So we all go into Nordstrom and Saks, and you go to Sephora, and there's so many products out there, and every single one of them promises to be the fountain of youth, better than Botox. And, how does somebody actually cut through all of that and determine what truly works? Because there's so many things that you can try, and we all have our medicine cabinets filled with half-empty bottles and of lotions and potions that we used for half of it, and it didn't really do anything, so we put it underneath our sink and we never see it again. So very simple, okay? You don't have to go buying all this stuff. You don't have to try to go through all these labels carefully and figure out what it is. There are very simple things you need to do. In the morning, cleanse your skin, okay, with an appropriate cleanser. You want to apply an antioxidant to your skin. So vitamin C is the most common. So you don't have to go and buy something super expensive. There are a lot of over-the-counter formulations. There are ones that you can buy at the mall that are all natural. Get a vitamin C serum to protect your skin against antioxidants. Okay, so it's the same idea of eating those antioxidants in the fruits and the vegetables. Put it on your skin as well. And then ideally you want to apply a sunscreen. Okay, so in the morning, all you do, cleanse, apply an antioxidant, and apply a sunscreen. That's it. At night, you got to cleanse your skin. Okay, so if you're the type of person that you want to take the least amount of steps necessary, you have to cleanse your skin at night, because during the day, our skin gets bombarded with pollution, with dirt, with the sebum, the oil that your body creates. You've got to wash that off at the end of the day. After you do that, you want to apply an anti-aging cream. And usually what I recommend, if you can tolerate it, is a retinol or a Retin-A. Okay, so the most scientifically proven anti-aging cream is a retinol or a Retin-A, because dermatologists have studied these for literally decades, and they will turn back the clock. If you want to apply a moisturizing cream over that, if you like a night cream, feel free, but you don't have to necessarily. And then 2 to 3 times a week if you have normal skin. Once a week if you have sensitive skin, you want to exfoliate your skin at that time. So 2 to 3 times a week with normal, once a week with sensitive. That's all you have to do. That's the basics. If you do that for the rest of your life, you're ahead of 98% of people, okay, if you're consistent with that.
All right, you just simplified my life a lot, and I am absolutely one of those people that has just it's actually overtaken 3 bathrooms in the house. Is that wrong?
Well, and you know what? If you want to do other stuff, JJ, and people have fun with their skincare products, by all means do that. But if you're the type of person that you don't want to spend much money and you just want to take 2 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes at night, technically that's all you have to do to keep your skin healthy and to look youthful.
But haven't you also noticed that, I remember once I went to an esthetician and my skin was broken out and she's like, what are you doing? I was telling her all the things I was doing. She goes, maybe you should just stop all that, So I'm just wondering, it's really tempting to go into these places and you just get seduced. And are there things that we should absolutely be running away from that aren't a good idea?
Yeah, I mean, really with products, there are a lot of products out there that are sold that have a lot of additives and ingredients that ideally you don't need. And so I'm definitely a big fan of going all natural, going organic with the products. And unfortunately, some of the ones that are less expensive are formulated by these big, it's similar to big agriculture, where you're getting these processed foods that have all these chemicals and additives and preservatives that you don't need to put in your body. There are products out there that are the same thing. And so just like that, like I said, I would try to go with all natural if you can, because you don't need those extra chemicals on your body. And if you are like yourself, JJ, where you say, geez, I'm doing all these things, yet why am I breaking out? Why is my skin not responding how it used to? A lot of times it's just time for a change, and to use something different is a good idea, and to give your skin time to adjust.
Now, what about beyond skincare and beyond what you're eating? Are there some other things that you could do before you hit the Botox injections, laser, which, I love all of them, I admit. What else could you do prior to that?
So there's a lot of really cool things out there right now that people can do even at home. So there are lasers that you can do at home. There's one called the FaceFX, and there's other ones out there as well, that you can actually do an at-home laser. Typically they cost a couple of $100s, but if you're the type of person, you live out in middle America, you don't have access to a med spa or dermatologist or plastic surgeon, you can go online and buy products like the FaceFX that you can use on your skin. It uses red light or infrared light to help to rejuvenate the skin. One of the most exciting things that we have now, we recently got a device. I said on the Rachel Ray Show years ago that the holy grail of plastic surgery is to get rid of stubborn fat without diet, exercise, or surgery. And we didn't have it when I said this about 10, 12 years ago. And we have it now. And the newest one that we just got in our office a few months ago is called Sculpture. And this is a laser that melts away fat. And literally it takes 25 minutes. You can sit on your phone for those 25 minutes, and it uses lasers to heat the fat up to a certain temperature that causes those fat cells to literally be damaged. And then your body will clear them by natural mechanisms, which basically means you poop it out. And within about 12 weeks or so, it does take time for your body to get rid of this. You lose, after one treatment, up to 24% of the thickness of that fat. And it's completely non-invasive.
So you can target specific areas.
Yep. You can do up to 4 areas at a time, 25 minutes. We do recommend 2 treatments for optimal effect. It's completely non-invasive, just uses a laser. And we've been really happy with what we've been seeing with this. Now, it's not the same as lipo, or it's not the same as weight loss. So if you're overweight and you want to do Sculpture to lose weight, it doesn't work that way. Read one of JJ's books, lose weight that way.
So this would be more for the problem spots, those funky saddlebags, or say love handles that you just, no matter how lean you get, you seem to have those areas.
Exactly. It's those areas of fat that we inherit from our parents. So if you're in great shape, if you're eating right, if you're exercising regularly, and gosh darn it, you just have those saddlebags that your mom gave you, or you just have that fat on the lower abdomen that your dad gave you, that's what it's perfect for.
And that, now, does it actually, it kills the fat inside the cell, or kills the cell itself?
It actually kills the cell itself. And so it goes down about 1 centimeter to 1.5 centimeters. And what the laser does is the frequency that it's at, it actually bypasses the skin. So the skin is cooled, actually, and it feels real cool, but the fat below it is heated up to a temperature of about 42 degrees Celsius, which is the temperature needed to actually kill those fat cells off.
This is super interesting. There's a couple interesting things about it. Number one, It would detoxify you too, because you carry a lot of toxins in your fat, so you'd be pooping those out too. And lipo, I had to do an ounce of lipo on either side of I guess it would be like right above my hip area. And honest to God, it was the most painful thing I've ever done. I was like, this was an ounce. How do people do this? It seemed so brutal and invasive. I was bruised. It was awful. And I have the teeniest little, like I can see it. And that's the biggest challenge I see. And I like that you emphasize, you don't do this as a weight loss technique, because if you do this as a weight loss technique and gain weight back, you're going to your fat cells are going to get bigger in other areas, and it may look worse. You may all of a sudden, as a guy, get man boobs, or as a woman, get fat arms, Well,
and the problem with lipo is it's performed in an uneven fashion. Basically, you take this long metal rod and it's hooked up to a suction, and you just ram it inside a patient over and over and over again, hundreds of times, just sucking little amounts of fat at a time. And so it's not like you're removing a sheet of fat. You're moving tiny amounts here and there. And so you develop scar tissue. And what I've seen in patients who've had lipo and they lose weight is that protective buffer area of fat that you have over the lipoed area starts to thin. And now you actually start seeing unevenness and scar tissue that you may not have seen before. So yes, if you can get rid of fat without lipo, no question, that's the way to go. That's the best way. But if, like I said, if you've got those stubborn areas, then the sculpture is going to treat that more evenly, so a less risk of that type of uneven scar tissue and that kind of Tara Reid abdomen type of thing that we never want to see.
So just to remind everybody, first thing you do is get lean through diet, sugar impact diet, virgin diet, exercise. And if you got those funky little places left, this is what you do.
Exactly, because as you and I know, it doesn't matter how many curls you do, you're not going to get rid of the fat in your arm by doing curls. Just because you do sit-ups doesn't mean that you get rid of the fat of your tummy. The fat goes away where your body decides it's going to go away, not where you're exercising.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great if you could do that?
Yeah, wouldn't that be awesome? You're just fair. Like, I think I have a double chin. I'm just going to do chin exercises, and that's going to go away.
Yeah,
the body doesn't let us do that, unfortunately.
Sadly enough, now, everyone's always fascinated when they show the pictures of like the plastic surgery gone wrong. And you brought up Tara Reid, so I have to go here. Like when those things happen, what happens? Because my take on so many of these women I see who've done plastic surgery, especially earlier, is that they look older, not younger.
Yeah, I think it depends on what you're dealing with. I do think that there is a population, it's kind of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills type of group, where actually looking operated on in plastic is considered like a fancy handbag.
Wow.
It's like, oh look, I have so much money, I can create this other appearance, and it's a way to show off, I think, your wealth. It's very odd to me. I don't get it. And here in the Midwest, we don't see that very much. I think that's part of it. Obviously, there's also, a psychological component, and there are people who have body dysmorphia, and what they see in the mirror isn't what you or I may see. And there are those people that they are plastic surgery enthusiasts, and they want to look that way, and they think it looks good. It's just a matter of opinion, I guess.
Ooh, I don't know. I think they look like caricatures. You start to look like Jessica Rabbit, Yeah,
and interestingly enough, it was about 14 years ago, I published one of the first papers on three-dimensional aging with my mentor out in Beverly Hills, Dr. Richard Ellenbogen. And it was a paper that showed that it's called the 3D facelift, the volumetric facelift, and how the face ages in 3 dimensions, not 2. Because previously to that, everybody all they did was these lifting procedures, facelift, eyelid lift, and it was all tightening. And we said, look, it's 3 dimensions, and as we age, we have to add volume back into the face. Well, they took what essentially was a very good idea, and people have taken it, like we usually do, to the extreme. And so instead of just softly volumizing the face, which we can do with fillers and with fat, now we're getting these pillow faces where people look just distorted. But it's the same thing with breast implants. It's like women have breast implants and to get a certain size and to regain what they lost, but then plastic surgeons take that to the extreme where you've got these massive implants that are not doing patients any favors at all.
So let's shift gears a bit here and throw this straight at you, Tony. What is one thing you do every day that you feel makes the biggest difference in your life?
I think the thing that I do every day that makes the biggest difference in my life is very different, honestly, in the past year and a half, since I have been getting to know you and a lot of your associates, is I have been encouraging my patients to really think about health in a very different way. So what I used to talk about with patients is what I learned in medical school. You follow the FDA guidelines of what to eat. You eat, milk is good for you. Eating a certain amount of meat is good for you, and what has really changed is learning from you as well as the people you have introduced me to, people like Isabella Wentz, like Vincent Pedre, like Dave Asprey, and learning that there is so much more, I think, to health and maintaining health than what typical allopathic physicians are teaching. And that has made a huge difference in what I eat and how I take care of myself and what I recommend to my patients.
Awesome. Now, I know you have something, speaking of what you eat, I know you have something for everybody listening, a great gift. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I wrote this short ebook, very simple, easy to read, called What to Eat to Look Younger. So these are my recommendations, very simple guidelines of what you can do to change your diet or just to make minor modifications that can make a huge impact on how quickly you age and how your skin looks. And so this is a simple ebook. You go to my website, dryoun.com. I know JJ is going to give you a link for that as well.
What I'll do is jjvirgin.com/Dr. Youn, YOUN, DRYOUN. That'll make it easy to do. It's just grab it there, and it'll be in the show notes too, because we always do great show notes of these podcasts.
That would be perfect. Very simple, easy to read. You'll know exactly what to eat to look younger.
Awesome. Because, I've always been amazed. I'll see someone who's doing so much for their skin, and then they're like eating a frozen yogurt. I'm like, stop it.
And what we're learning now is the microbiome has a massive impact on our skin too. I mean, there's so much that we're learning. It's so fascinating and exciting nowadays.
And it just all goes back to those basic things that really like 100 years ago we were doing. So It always starts with food. I love that you are leading the charge with this message and being courageous out there saying all this stuff, because it's pretty different from what all your colleagues are saying. So thank you so much for that.
Push the truth. That's what we got to do.
There you go. Well, I appreciate you being here today. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
All right. After the break, I'm going to be answering a listener's question. So stay with me.
You already know starting your day off with the right breakfast sets the metabolic tone for your day. And now, the perfect and easiest way to do this is with the JJ Virgin's all-in-one Paleo-Inspired protein shake. This convenient, nutrient-rich, protein-enhanced meal comes in 2 delicious flavors, vanilla and chocolate, and is a huge time saver, ensuring your body uses stored fat as fuel, creates steady, sustained energy, and cuts your hunger and sugar cravings. Visit jjvirgin.com/products today and experience the easy way to lose more weight and keep it off. Visit jjvirgin.com/products and start your day with a healthy shake.
Welcome back. This is the time where I answer a listener's question. And I recently did a Facebook Live on skin and everything you could do to eat better for your skin. And I had a bunch of questions, and one of them came from Susie in Baltimore, and she wanted to know what I did for my skin. And I never got a chance to answer it during the Facebook Live. And obviously, you know how I eat. I eat based on the virgin diet. I don't eat gluten, dairy, soy, corn. I can rotate eggs back into my diet. Yay. I don't really eat peanuts. And I eat low sugar impact. So that's what I do. And honestly, that's where it all starts, as you heard from Dr. Tony Youn, because it keeps your blood sugar stable and reduces inflammation and reduces glycation. But the other thing that I do is I am, as I said on this podcast, a skincare junkie. So I'm going to share with you a couple of things that I use. And then the other secret weapons that I have that I've been using for years are a variety of lasers that I do a couple times a year. I do intense pulse light. I've done that for years. That got rid of a lot of acne scarring and brown spots. And now I do a Fraxel laser, usually a light one once a year and then a bigger one every other year. So I'm rotating in a bunch of lasers. Those have helped a lot. I'm a big fan of them, but I think the biggest thing you can do is start with food, get good sleep. And then I do what Dr. Youn says. I just might overuse products a little bit. I'm a big fan of Anne Marie Gianni's new scrub. They have this incredible scrub that I've been using. So that's what I use to exfoliate. And I like my buddy Dr. Trevor Cate's Spa Doctor cleanser. And then I have been using vitamin C for years. So I was happy to hear him say the vitamin C serum. I tend to use vitamin C and vitamin A antioxidant serums. And I do use a retinol at night, but I rotate that because it gets my skin too dry and peely otherwise. And then I use my rejuvenating serum and rejuvenating eye serum that I have been looking for products forever. And I wanted to find that one thing that I could recommend that I saw made a difference in a matter of days. So that's what I use at night. And that's it. I also do a Purogenics mask for my girlfriend, Dr. Suzanne Bennett, once a week. So I do a lot of stuff. I'm kind of a bit of a obsessed about it, but you know what? I also do TV and it's high definition. So there you have it. And again, I'm trying to avoid anything surgery-wise for as long as possible, if ever, because I just haven't really liked what I've seen. It just doesn't seem to ever look natural. So I'm figuring I'm just going to work on de-aging this way. And also the other side of that mindset is, they talk about, I'm 54, and they talk about 50 being the new 30 or whatever. And, while I always want to look a bit younger than my age, I also think that there's something about just being the best of who you are at the time in your life that you are. I don't want to be 20 or 30 again or dress like one. So that's the other piece of it too. Alrighty. Now, the next part of the show, the final part of the show, is the gratitude portion of the show, the time I love the best, as you know. And I am going to read this one from AAR Waves, R Waves. And it says, life-altering, 5 stars. Amazing. Only thing that makes sense. Really worthwhile if you're serious and want to make significant life-altering changes. Podcast offers the terrific advice. Thanks, JJ. And thank you. And thank you for everyone who is tuning in, sharing this information with your friends. It's been my dream since my early 20s to figure out, what I realized early on is that it's really not as complicated as everybody kind of tries to make it out to be. And that I know we all want to be healthier. And sometimes it feels so daunting that you do nothing. It's analysis paralysis. And I thought, gosh, if I can just figure out a way to get this information out on a broad scale, easy, actionable steps, where there's no barrier, which is what the internet's really done. It's been the great equalizer. So my goal is to help 1 billion people get healthier, both by bringing on amazing people onto my show so that they can get their message out far and wide, and to give you easy, actionable steps that you can start putting into place. And that's my big stressor to you right now, is that this is great information if you put it into action. So grab something you heard today, little hinges swing the big doors, get moving, and I'd love to hear from you and hear what it's done for you. Alrighty, make it a great week. Bye-bye.